And then we come around this side. One addition that is not game related is curtains. I've always had some blinds up here. If I can get them to come down. Problem with them is they're white, so they still let a lot of light in. And the problem that would cause is when I wanted to play this CRT TV on the other side of the room here, there would be a lot of glare. So now with these curtains, it makes it nice and dark in here, and there's no glare, and I can play that CRT TV without distraction. So the blinds are kind of a nice touch here. The curtains, rather. Come around this side, we got two more frame posters. We got Metroid Prime for the Gamecube, and then Super Mario Galaxy for the Wii. Below the Metroid Prime poster, got the Year of Luigi's Mansion figurine. My game soundtracks, which I've done a video on previously. And then my collection of player's guides, which I've shown before, are separated by system. And it goes from the original NES all the way through the Wii, and then down again here, continuing the Wii through the 3DS and Wii U. And I've got a couple Nintendo Power supplemental magazines here, some catalogs, make a video on those eventually, and then my binder of Animal Crossing e-cards, as well as the 4-color original Wii remote strap set for New Super Mario Bros. Wii. Got the Nintendo promotional VHS tapes up here. I've done a video on each one of those if you want to check those out. We've got the Mario and Luigi Wii remotes, and the the Club Nintendo bonus from a couple years back, this figurine here. Got a Koopa shell that makes all the noises if you toss it back and forth. And then the passes to the Wii U experience in Chicago that happened prior to the Wii U's release. Little Goomba character. And then my Super Mario World watch that I got for Christmas in 1992. Still works. Needs batteries, but it still works. Complete with headphones. And if we come around here, not too much difference in appearance is the entertainment center here with all of my game consoles. If we go from top to bottom, you see my Famicom handbills there, and the 25-year anniversary Famicom Game Boy Advance sets, on which I've done videos already. Japanese home consoles. Handhelds. Something that's different in this video is I have each handheld in a sealed bag, and that's because, to be honest, I got tired of dusting them, and it doesn't look the greatest, but I would prefer to not have to dust these systems and have them be in bags than not. So that's every Nintendo handheld, except for I believe there's a Pokemon one, which was a dedicated console. That's the 2DS in its case. Come down here, see the TV. It's currently got the Wii U running. Wii and Wii U controllers. I have a controller and nunchuck of every color. Not every color, but if there's a 4-player game, then everybody gets their own color, is what I mean. Down here in this drawer, not too much is different than from last year. This is basically Wii, Wii U, and Gamecube peripherals here. With, of course, the 2 robots, the Family Computer Robot and the Robotic Operating Buddy. And they're in here mainly because they don't fit anywhere else. Got the dance pad for Dance Dance Revolution Mario Mix. Balance board for Wii Fit. Some Wii wheels, controllers. And the gamepad down there and its charger. And moving over to the other little bin here that I have of controllers. I've shown this before, but I've done a little bit of revamping since the last time. You see the top here? The way I have these arranged is, if you'll notice, it goes NES, NES2, Famicom, Famicom AV. And that's because as you grow up, you have the NES, the NES2, the Famicom, and the Famicom AV. Then you come down with the Super Famicom and the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. Those are the controllers that you have. These are extenders and adapters. Got the US and the Japanese N64 controllers, and the US and the Japanese Gamecube controllers, along with some rumble packs. And I'll take the rest of the contents out and show you what's in here. So once I get all 6 bins out of here, you'll see that I have a couple NES and Super NES peripherals along the side. I have the NES Advantage joystick controller, the Super NES Advantage joystick controller, and then the Super Scope for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. And we come down here, we see the same controllers, but those are sitting on top of a lid that was sitting on top of this bin here with N64 controllers and accessories. Have the N64 mouse in the transfer pack, microphone, and then the keyboard for the 64DD. And then that bin was sitting on top another one that has GameCube controllers and Wii controllers. Just some extras here, including a Wavebird, and then the Hori digital pad for playing Game Boy Advance games on the Game Boy player. And then those middle bins, said I had extenders and adapters here. Those are on top of a lid, which is sitting on top of another bin that has the multiplayer adapters for the Nintendo Entertainment System, the 4-score, and then the wireless satellite, along with the 3D glasses for games like Rad Racer. And then that bin was sitting on top of another one that has the accessories for the robot games, Gyromite or Robot Gyro, and Stack Up or Robot Block. And then the Famicom and NES and Super Famicom and Super NES controllers are on a lid, sitting on top of a bin that has a dog in it. Hi, Toby. Oh, you're hungry, aren't you? Okay, well, give me a few more minutes. Sorry. This bin has a bunch of Game Boy adapters in it. Got the 4-player adapter, Game Boy camera, Virtual Boy controller, the power pack for the original Game Boy, the mouse slider for the DS for a Japanese-only game called Slide Adventure Mag Kid. This is the AC adapter for the Virtual Boy. This is the 3DS stand for Kid Icarus Uprising, and the AR cards for the 3DS. These are the Circle Pad Pro units for the original 3DS and the 3DS XL. And then several AC adapters for the Game Boy Micro, the Game Boy Advance SP, the DS, the DSi, all those things. And the last thing buried down here I see is the Game Boy printer that works in tandem with the Game Boy camera. And then the final bin, if you lift up the mouse pad here, which is blocking most everything that's in here, are my 2-player controllers for the Super Famicom, the Super Nintendo Entertainment System, the Famicom, and the Nintendo Entertainment System. Got a second controller for the NES, the Turbo Max controller for the NES, second controller for the Famicom AV, second controller for the NES2, second controller for the Super Famicom, second controller for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System, and then second controllers for each of the redesigns, the Super Nintendo Entertainment System 2 and the Super Famicom Junior. And over here I have turbo controllers I have two for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System, and I have one for the Japanese Super Famicom. If you take a look at these, they're almost identical. This one has a darker print on it, and it specifies Super Famicom. This one has lighter print on it, and it doesn't specify Super Nintendo Entertainment System. But Nintendo licensed its production of turbo controllers out to a company called ASCII, ASCII. Nintendo used to produce all of its peripherals and accessories, but with the Super Famicom and then later the N64, third parties took over that. Nintendo stopped producing those. Then I've got the 4-player adapter for the Super Nintendo, the Super NES mouse for Mario Paint and a few other games on the Super Nintendo, and then of course the receiver for the Super Scope. And this cartridge here is for the Super Famicom Satellaview. That's a peripheral that used to let you download games, and this is the ROM cartridge that you would download those games to and play on your Super Famicom. Got my US consoles here. And some redesigns. And one thing you're going to notice, perhaps, is the lack of switch boxes that I used to have right there, and the lack of cords coming out the back of those systems. And this is one of the biggest changes to the game room this time around.